tutorial on how to create a data entry invoice, meaning you are not receiving an EDI purchase order, for RONA using our EDI Gateway's Web EDI portal, Webgate Plus. First, you'll need to log into Webgate Plus. To do so, please use the Internet Explorer or Firefox browser, as our application doesn't support Chrome. The address is webgate.edigateway.net. Once you enter, use the username and password assigned to you by our customer service department, or if you are already using the application, use your current username and password. Once you have entered your username and password, you will need to enter the security code. Then click on Enter or Sign In. In order to create a data entry invoice, you will first need to click on Documents. Let's create a data entry invoice. Once you're in the Documents section, select Create Data Entry Invoice from the main banner. If you are set up with multiple retailers that do accept data entry invoices, the system will ask you to choose for which retailer. In this case, we are only set up on this vendor portal for RONA. There are 4 tabs to look at when you're creating an invoice: the header, the detail, the summary, and the tax section. Let's start with our header section. In our header section, the invoice date will default to today, the date that you're doing your invoice. You can select the drop-down calendar and select the appropriate date. Enter your invoice number, the date of the order number. If your currency is different, you can select it here. We are not creating a credit for the moment. Your internal vendor number is very important. Make sure you have filled that in your profile. Select the Bill to Party. To do so, click on Select. The Bill to Parties and Ship to Parties are managed by our admin portal. Then select your Ship to. To select your Ship to address, since there is multiple address, you can always try to search either by address, city, country, DUNS number, or postal code, or even province. For example, if I'm looking for a RONA in Bougainville, for example, I can type Bougainville here and it will give me the stores. Then I can simply click on OK. Enter your terms of sale. You have already populated this in your profile. The only thing you need to enter is the type code. For example, previously agreed upon, fixed date, or mutually defined. I will indicate mutually defined for this one in particular. Enter the ship date and the shipment method of payment. Then you will need to complete the detail section. To do so, click on Next or Detail at the top here. We will click on Detail. In order to complete your data entry invoice, you can select Add Multiple Items at Once. If you have completed your item list, all you need to do is select all the items that you are currently shipping and invoicing for RONA, then select OK. This will populate your valid vendor item numbers. If, for example, you have forgotten to enter a field in the item list, the system will not allow you to populate it on the grid. For RONA, you are able to add allowances and charges at both summary and item level. Let's start with the item level. You can select the item that you need to send an allowance for, right-click, and select Allowance. Then you will need to select Allowance, the appropriate code, which is basically the reason, the amount, I'll just enter $5 and then I'll click on OK. If I need to enter a charge at the line level, I will use the same process. I will create a charge, absolute minimum charge, for example. I'll enter $150 and then I'll click on OK. Now I need to apply my taxes for these items. If all my items are taxable for both taxes, I will simply click on Tax All. If my allowances are also all taxable, I will click here. If I need to only tax one item in particular, I will be taxing it at the line level. To access my allowances and my charges, I click on the X. Then I can tax at the line level. Let's now look at the summary. If I need to add an allowance or a charge at the summary level, I will simply reach allowance and charge at the bottom and select Add. For example, I want to add a charge. And this charge is $30. I'll click on OK. If you need to apply taxes at the summary level, you will need to select the taxes at the line level here. Let's look at the tax configuration. The tax percentages are taken from the ship to or the pickup location. This is managed by our admin portal. Shall the government change the tax rates, this will automatically change. However, if you want to modify the taxes, you can also click on Custom and go ahead and modify them. Now let's go back to the header. We want to make sure that all the fields are calculated. To do so, we will go to the Terms of Sales and click on Calculate. You will notice that the discounts will be calculated automatically. The term's net due date has populated, and so has the amount. Now it's time to save your invoice. You either want to save it since it's valid and ready to be sent, or you want to save it as a draft if, for example, you need an approval and you don't want it to be sent right away. I'll send it saved. Since I saved it, my invoice is valid. I'll click on OK. The system is asking me if I want to create another data entry invoice for RONA. In our particular case, we'll say no. Now it's time to look at your outbox. By clicking on your outbox, you will access every document that you have created and not sent. There are two different statuses here. It's either valid or a draft. I have multiple valid invoices in my outbox right now. To send a particular invoice, I will select that invoice, right-click, and select Send. This will only send this invoice. If I want to send all the valid invoices that I have created at the same time, I will select Send Valid at the top right of the screen. This will only be sending my valid invoices. Let's now reach our Sent box. In the Sent box, you will have all the documents that you have sent. There are three different statuses to look for. It's either in queue, which means that it has not reached our full 4-minute cycle, sent, which means we have sent it, we are simply waiting for RONA to send us back an acknowledgement, or acknowledge. Once your invoice has been acknowledged by RONA, you will have an acknowledgement date and a time in this column here. Always ensure that you have received an acknowledgement for your transactions by monitoring the status 24 hours after sending your documents. RONA sends an email with the errors when there's a problem with a transaction. If that's the case, please forward this error to us, as RONA may not send it directly to our error email. Congratulations! You have completed your data entry invoice for RONA. Here is how to reach us. And from all of us at EDI Gateway, we thank you for watching.